65% of all clicks made by users who intend to make a purchase go online and click in Google Ads. There's nothing on earth that drives more leads than Google Ads does. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to measure Google Ads performance with the 3 most important numbers that anybody that's running Google Ads must know. Hey everyone, I'm Richard Cruz. I'm the founder of WSI Priority Media, and the purpose of this video and every video that I do is to help your business thrive. And I'm often getting calls from people that run Google Ads who are worried about the lack of performance, and they get hung up on data that really doesn't matter. You see, there's so many numbers in the ads dashboard that you can run extensive reports. You can get stuck on things that, if, like for example, click-through rate, whether it's enough or not. Another one I get a lot of questions on is CPCs. Those are important, but they're vanity numbers also. The bottom line of measuring Google Ads performance is the bottom line, what it is costing you to acquire a new customer and how much revenue that you're generating. When you know you're navigating numbers, you can easily scale a campaign. So let's jump into it. And I'm going to show you what we keep a very close eye on in our ad campaigns that we manage. There's 3 things that matter the most. And one is the conversion rate. Number 2 is the conversions. And then number 3 is the cost per conversion. Let me explain. So the conversions number is first and foremost. What is the number that is coming in? And you can't really measure this number unless you've done a good setup of your goals and you told Google what a conversion means to you. A conversion to Google could mean a newsletter sign up, or it could be a phone call coming in from a Google ad, or it could be a form fill. And so when you're setting up your conversions, have good, clean conversion methodologies where you are telling them specifically what a conversion is. So let's say, for example, your intent is leads, then the only conversions that should ever be measured under the conversion event actions should be form fills, for example, or say phone calls, or however they get in touch with you. So in this particular case, let's say that our conversions are actually leads. They're coming in from those 2. So if you had 500 visitors and then 25 of those contacted you, that's a conversion. Now you would have a total of 25 conversions. If 500 visitors, 848 opted in, that's 48. If you had 500 visitors, 89 called you, that's 89 conversions, depend on what your conversion measurement is. The next one is the conversion rate. This number is honestly one of my favorite numbers because it is a number that we can test things in the account and we can see that start to increase, and you can make a huge difference in profitability by really knowing this number here. So your conversion rate, what you do is you divide the conversions by the visitors. So let's say, for example, you had 950 visitors, 60 of them converted, you had a 13% conversion rate. So always optimize here first, right? And what you want to do is once you understand your baseline conversion rate, you can go in and you can start tweaking and say, hey, I'm going to run an ad group targeting a specific in-market audience or an interest-based audience or a demographic. And I'm going to compare them and I'm going to see how they're converting against each other. I'm going to look at my ads and then I'm going to change a couple of headlines and calls to action and see how that converts as well too. The only thing is that you want to make sure that you always separate the ad groups. You can't ever test them if they're bundled into one. That's a huge mistake that I see. So let me give you an example. Let's say, for example, that you want to test your targeting. So what you do is if you've got one is a demographic, one is an interest, one is an in-market, you create 3 separate ad groups and you let them run and you watch what the conversion rates are on those. Now, let's say that you're going to test the ads. You can't do those inside of there. What you need to do now is, let's say you have 3 different ads, you run those 3. Now, if you want to do your targeting inside of those, it's way too many things to try to test at one time. And so what you do is you focus on your targeting and you get your targeting number in line. And then once your targeting number is doing well and you've really got your winners, now you can really start to optimize and perform and find out what performs as far as your ads are converting. And so it's a process. It's a process. Your targeting, your ads, and all of it just watching this number right here. Number 3 is your CPA, your cost per conversion. You've got 1,000 clicks, your CPCs are $2.50, 45% of them confirmed, you have a $55 CPA. That is the bottom line number anybody should ever navigate an account with. And what we always do now is we take a look at what is the lifetime value of a customer, not the one-time worth, but the lifetime value. And let's say the lifetime value is, say, $600. It's costing you $55 to acquire a lead. And let's say for every 4 leads, you're able to convert them into a customer. That's $220 that it costs you to generate a $600 revenue on that customer. Know those numbers, because when you keep an eye on your CPAs, you will have absolute success in being able to monitor and measure the success of a campaign. The mistake that I see is a lot of ad managers are watching the CPC. Well, I can't tell you how many times I've seen, for example, let's say, for example, a $10 CPC versus, say, a $40 CPC. You would think that the $40 is 4 times more expensive. You don't want that. It's costing you too much money. However, it's a very good high quality term. And because the conversion rate, if you remember our older number, is really high on those, your CPA is only $55. The $10 one might have a much, much lower conversion rate, and it could cost you $80, for example, for that same one. That's why we say that these are the 3 primary numbers that you should always be keeping an eye on: your conversions, your conversion rate, and your CPA. If you learn to really keep those in your dashboard and optimize to those, you should have a really, really successful campaign. And so with that, I hope that this video has been helpful for you. These are the fundamental ones that you want to keep an eye on. This will hopefully help your campaign be successful. And if you have any questions, reach out to me anytime at wsiprioritymedia.net or leave me a comment below. And if you found this video helpful, like it, share it, and subscribe so that you're alerted of future training videos. Hey, I look forward to seeing you again on the next one.